What's up, guys? So I apologize for not making videos in a while. I slipped up. I had a minor relapse and I nipped it in the butt, thankfully. But after 5 years or almost 5 years of sobriety, to mess up, it felt bad. I felt ashamed. Still feel ashamed, kind of. And guilty. I didn't know really what to say to you guys. I was sitting there like, I'm building this, building up my subscribers, and I'm saying all this stuff after I've accomplished all these things and I've worked so hard for years, but then I messed up and I felt like I was being sneaky, and like those last couple videos, I was like a little fucked up, and it didn't feel good doing that to you guys, man. So yeah, I had to get my shit together and really think about what I want my life to be about. Do I want to waste it doing drugs? Do I want to waste it being fraudulent, lying about, like, to people, no, I don't. So anyway, I'm a little nervous, but that is what happened. I started drinking a little too much. One thing led to another. Doing a couple lines at the bar. Somebody had a pint of lean. And there's pills. And like it started becoming this thing where I could see it heading towards where it was headed towards. And I just had to stop, man. I had to chill, fall back. I even checked myself into a facility for a sec. Ultimately had to dip early because bills, life, reality, the economy, I have to fucking work still. But thank God my job was super cool, respectful about it. I was honest with them. They're just giving me the time and space. Still working, but not full schedule, right now. And yeah, man, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive, and I love you guys. But so for today's video, I wanted to go into the story of my father's murder. A lot of people don't know this. I believe I've never said the exact details, but it's a pretty wild story. So my mom and dad at the time had just moved from New York, where I was born. And my dad had gotten into a big loan shark gambling debt back in New York. And my mom at the time was doing pretty decent. She was pursuing a modeling career, doing some stuff in New York, and was able to pay these loan sharks. Well, anyway, hey, it's okay, Lulu. They end up moving to LA to pursue stuff for my mom, and they just wanted to move there after I was born, right? They had paid off that debt. They wanted to get out of New York. It was grimy, right? So they moved to LA, and shit's cool for a second, but my dad being, whatever the fuck his mindset was, he wasn't treating my my mom the best, and I'm sure she played a part in it too. Anyway, they end up separating. My dad's working at this nightclub, and he's around all these high-powered Hollywood figures, right? And he's not the owner of the club. He's not the bartender or anything. He's just the security guard at the door, right? But still, he's working there, and he's around these people, and he's meeting all these folks and talking to all these peeps, and he ends up getting involved with this Playboy bunny. Well, mind you, at the time, my mom and I and my sister were in Crescent Heights or Hawthorne or somewhere, I forget, Culver City, some shit, in a shitty fucking apartment, just riding it out. My mom's trying to do auditions but not really going nowhere, kind of fucked up, right? My dad's chasing pussy, working at a nightclub, coming around kind of. I'm sure he was helping to what he could, but not really in our lives fully, right? And once again, I'm not putting blame on either parent. This is just like how I perceive it, okay? So shouts out to both my parents and rest in peace to my dad. But to make a long story short, my dad starts getting involved in some shit with this girl, right? She had this ex who was like a super millionaire and like Wall Street type dude. The Playboy bunny. Her ex was a Wall Street type dude. And he had all this jewelry that he had bought in her, right? And it had been like at one of the houses that she lived at. Now, for anyone out there that knows this story better than me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure what they were doing was they were stealing jewelry and then also focused on stealing this main jewelry from this guy. So like they basically broke into this house and took all of these pieces of like really expensive jewelry, okay? And then I think perhaps maybe a store or two, I don't know the whole story. But they acquired a bunch of stolen jewelry, right? Now, they're going around, really my dad is going around and he's trying to sell this jewelry. He's going to jewelers and they're looking at him like he's crazy. Like, nah, bro, like if you don't have a certificate of authenticity, I can't buy this jewelry off of you, you know? You can't sell it here. And I'm pretty sure he went to like some famous jeweler, like an Asian gal, and even she was like, nah, like I can't do it without a certificate. Whatever, right? So he starts asking people in the underworld, like, yo, you know, some shady guys at the club that like got a bunch of money, like, hey, you guys interested in jewelry, like for low, like this nice, like real fucking GIA certified fucking shit, you know? And he ends up meeting some guy who claims that he wants to buy it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they had like north of $3 million worth of jewelry. It could have been like 1.75. I've heard like different numbers, but the most recent one I heard was like north of $3 million worth of jewelry. And my dad went with his homie Chris to go pick it up. To go drop it off to these fools one night. And they had agreed upon some number. I don't know the number that they were going to sell it for, but they had agreed upon it. And they meet up with these dudes and they're all sitting in a car and they kill my dad and his friend, Chris. They shoot him. They drive the car to some place, I think in like Bel Air or something, and then they light it on fire. And once again, forgive me if I'm butchering some of the like details, but they light the car on fire with the bodies in it, right? They take the jewelry, obviously never paid them, and dipped. These fools never get caught, all right? Obviously, this devastates my family. I was like 5 at the time. My sister's like 3 at the time. And my mom, you know, bless her heart, just destroyed her. Destroyed my grandma, my father's mom, and just everyone in the family, obviously. But yeah, man, it was wild. He was involved with some Playboy bunny, and they were like jewelry thieves or some shit. And he just got finessed. And I always wondered, I was like, why didn't you meet up in the day somewhere, like at a restaurant or like somewhere busy? Like, why did you let them pick a spot at night, all sketchy? You know, why did you plan it so wrong, you know? Obviously, the main question is, why were you involved in it in the first place? But I, to a certain degree, like, can sympathize or like empathize where he's coming from in the sense that like he just wanted to give us a better life or do whatever, you know. But fuck, man, it's a wild story, dude. Those of you, this is a pretty like high profile story. I'm sure like some of you may have like seen it on TV or whatever, but yeah, rest in peace. And once again, moral of the story is stay out the streets, guys. Like it ends in the same things, man. And I'm so grateful, dude. Even as just from the aspect of getting sober to have walked away. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for being there, and thank you for the support.